Hello, I'm Tim Cook, and I want to show you our cat claw setter. It's what we call the dial tooth setter, made by Cook Saw. We sold this setter for many years, and it's just a good setter. It works really good. It's one of the most accurate setters that you can use. It bends the tooth very accurately. You can see exactly what you do. I'm going to demonstrate that. I'm first going to show you the moving parts on the setter, and so that you can recognize those for those of you who purchase it and want to have a better understanding of how to use it. I'll start with the dial indicator, and you can see the needle as it moves over to check a tooth, and you can turn this dial and set it to 0 wherever you'd like to set that. In the back and below the dial indicator, there is every adjustment that you need. You can raise it up, you can tilt it to the side, you can tilt it down. Every adjustment, you can slide it in and out that you need. And then I'll move forward. You'll notice that we have a sliding block, if you can see this moving back and forth as I move this handle. Then I have the bending screw, or the bending bolt, we call that there. And I also call this the back block. The back block is welded firm, and that is what the tooth gets bent over. We're measuring anything that protrudes beyond the flat surface of the back block. The front block moves. Inside of the front block, I doubt that you can see this, but there's a spring-loaded bar. This spring-loaded bar catches the blade about 1/4 of an inch below the gullet, and so it measures the upper portion of the blade. Sometimes blades have a curvature. Y'all have heard me talk about that in other videos and other writings. And so I take the factor of the curvature out of the blade when I press that spring-loaded bar beneath the gullet and then the upper quarter of the blade. You'll also notice this handle that clamps. This clamp puts 850 pound pressure against the blade. It has a threaded bar that goes up into the front side here that is adjustable. As the clamp handle wears and parts in it wears, you can extend this so that it clamps, it continues to clamp the blade firm. When I come forward with the handle, I want it to just snug, and you notice it kind of locks. There's a locking mechanism, just barely locks, and then I can ease it out. But I don't want that hard to push. I don't want to fight this thing. I just want it to go easy and just snug. And if it's not snugging, I'll make an adjustment there to make that snug up. And of course, these are sliding parts. Put a little oil on them and that'll make them work good. These, I call them clickers. You can call them whatever, indexers. You can move the blade and index it. You can count the clicks, pull the blade back, click, 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 pull it back. And that's the way you can keep your index in the exact same place every time. One thing I want to advise you of, you'll hear people say that they want to set the very tip of the blade. That's impossible on hardened tooth blades. That tip is set and then hardened down 1/8 of an inch from the factory, and if you try to bend it up there on the tip, you'll snap it off every single time. We're going to be trying to bend this blade down near the gullet line, near the body of the blade. That's the only place you can bend it. One other factor that people think sometimes is set is bending back out of the blade. If you'll notice, we have to bend the tooth way over 20 thousandths beyond approximately to spring back to see what kind of set we are obtaining. So you have to bend it way over. There's nothing in the log that reverses that action. Although set does wear off. When you wear the set off, then you're going to measure less set. Now I will say that when you bend a spring steel over and it comes back, it might relax back 1 thousandths or 2, maybe 3, according to what kind of steel it is. I do realize that can happen. But I just want you to know you can't bend the tip, and if you do, it will snap that tip off with these hardened blades. One of the first things I do, if I've sharpened the blade first, is I deburr it. Now I will recommend to you, if you're sharpening your own blades, set it first, sharpen second. That is my recommendation. It will cut better. If you're sharpening for other people, we sharpen first and then set because people are so finicky about the set. I'm not as finicky about set as most people. I believe that the set must be wide enough to clear the body and without friction, and that's its job. I've actually tested blades where you could put 5 thousandths more on one side than the other. It didn't matter, the blade's solid. Now the key factor was the blade sharp, was it set enough to clear it, and was it flat? If the blade's not flat, I don't care what you set the set at, it's not going to saw straight. But many people blame set problems to blades that are not flat. But anyway, I won't discuss the flatness. That's another portion of what we'll do. But a lot of times set is blamed for things that it's not doing. Anyway, I'm going to show you, we've got a tool that we send with it. It's just a lathe tool. It's high-speed steel. And I'm going to scrape the burr off of the blade. I'm just going to go around it real quick and show you how I would do that.